Welcome to the altar of reception. We come before the throne of grace with a question that reaches into the deepest mystery of our faith. The question brought to the text today is this: YHWH, in the resurrection from the dead, will we be resurrected as Messiah was, so that we will then have uncreated substance as Messiah has, which will comprise our final transformation? The text opens its answer with a scene that is quiet, and it is gathered, and it is full of prayer. Acts chapter 12, verse 12 says, "And when he had considered the thing, he came to the house of Mary, the mother of John, whose surname was Mark, where many were gathered together praying." Peter had just been delivered. The chains had fallen. The door had opened. And when he considered what had happened to him, he did not run into speculation. He did not run into debate. He came to the house where the covenant people were gathered together praying. That is where this inquiry is received. It is not received as a cold probe into hidden substance. It is received among those who wait and who pray and who hold the hope of Israel together. The resurrection question is not strange to the text. 1 Corinthians chapter 15, verses 34 and 35 asks it plainly. How are the dead raised up, and with what body do they come? The scripture itself puts that question on the table. It does not silence the one who asks. It brings the question into the light. And the answer the text gives is an affirmative answer. The dead are raised. There is a final transformation. There is a real and holy change. The hope is not empty. The pattern of the draw confirms this with great strength. The verdict is affirmative. The convergence is strong. The pattern is confirmed across multiple channels. Yet the text answers in its own words, and those words matter. The text does not say that the creature becomes uncreated. The text says that the new man is created after Elohim, in covenant faithfulness and true holiness. That word created is the boundary the text will not cross. The final transformation is real, but it is the transformation of the creature, not the abolition of the creature. It is renewal. It is glorification. It is being clothed with what is holy and age-lasting. It is not becoming the uncreated one. The text speaks instead of inheritance. It speaks of priesthood. It speaks of identity. In the book of Numbers, YHWH tells Aaron, "I am your share and your covenant inheritance." To the tribe of Levi, no portion of land was given, because the sacrifices of YHWH were their inheritance. The psalmist cries out, "O reckon me with your salvation, that I may see the good of your chosen one, that I may rejoice in the gladness of your nation, that I may sacred glory with your covenant inheritance." Do you hear what that is? The final transformation is not described as the transfer of uncreated being into the creature. It is described as being reckoned with salvation, being brought into the gladness of the covenant people, and sharing in the sacred glory of the covenant inheritance. And that inheritance, at its deepest point, is not merely a place, is not merely a body, is YHWH himself. He is the portion of his priests. He is the share of those who fear his name. This is why the resurrection hope in this draw is carried by covenant consecration. The blood of the covenant was sprinkled on the people. The priest made propitiatory covering. The altar was most holy, and whatever touched the altar became holy. And the word of YHWH stands, "Be sacred, for I am holy." The resurrection hope is set inside that holy pattern. It is covenant faithfulness. It is priestly nearness. It is being made fit for the presence of the living one. There is a pastoral caution here, and it must be spoken gently but plainly. 1 Timothy chapter 6, verse 16 says of Elohim, who only has immortality, dwelling in the light, that no human being can have access to, who no human being has seen nor can see. That word stands as a boundary. Immortality belongs to him alone in himself. What we receive from him. What is given is given. What is inherited is inherited. It is not seized. It is not self-derived. It is not uncreated in itself. This is where the phrase uncreated substance must be handled with care. That phrase is not the language of the drawn text. It is later theological vocabulary, not the vocabulary of the covenant scriptures. The text answers with words like created, new man, age-lasting covenant, sacred glory, heritage, and inheritance. These are the words the text gives, and they are enough. They are holy. They are faithful. They preserve the distinction between the creator and the creature while still affirming the full reality of the transformation to come. The mathematics of this draw confirms the direction with uncommon strength. The verdict is affirmative. The probability of an affirmative reading stands at 100% in the pattern classifier, with 0% for a negative reading and 0% for an unresolved reading. The pattern index is affirmative. The global anomaly measure shows extreme convergence. The triple convergence standard is crossed, with all 6 channels active. The dominion triad of identity, inheritance, and priesthood rises far above the corpus baseline, reaching more than 15 sigma. The data shows a statistically confirmed, non-random pattern across multiple independent channels. The pattern is robust to permutation controls and survives the false discovery rate correction. Prospective replication is recommended to establish persistence. But hear this clearly. These numbers do not replace the text. They do not turn into a certificate about hidden substance. They do not prove that a creature becomes uncreated. They confirm that the pattern of the draw is affirmative, and that the affirmative direction is strong. The text itself carries the content. The numbers confirm the signal. The word remains the final voice. So what is the answer? The answer is yes. Yes, there is resurrection from the dead. Yes, there is final transformation. Yes, the hope is bound up with the pattern of Messiah and with the fullness of the blessing of the good news of Messiah. Yes, the dead are raised, and they are clothed with what is holy, and they are brought into age-lasting life. But the answer is not yes to uncreated substance. The text does not go that way. The text says the new man is created after Elohim. The text says YHWH only has immortality in himself. The text says the inheritance is YHWH himself. The text says we are reckoned with salvation, and we share in sacred glory, and we receive the heritage of those who fear his name. So the final transformation is real, is glorious, is age-lasting, is resurrection hope-fulfilled. But it remains the transformation of the creature, not the abolition of the creature. It is covenant inheritance, not uncreated possession. It is priestly nearness to the living one, not independence from him. Let us receive this answer the way Peter received his deliverance. Let us consider the thing. Let us come to the house of prayer. Let us gather with the covenant people. Let us hold the hope with reverence. Let us not test Elohim by demanding what he has not spoken. Let us rest in what he has spoken. The resurrection is real. The transformation is real. The inheritance is sure. YHWH himself is our portion. And in that portion, we have enough now and for the ages. The lead verses drawn in this altar of reception session were Acts chapter 12, verse 12. 1 Corinthians chapter 14, verse 25. Numbers chapter 34, verse 18. 1 Kings chapter 13, verse 2. Psalms chapter 106, verse 4-5. Psalms chapter 78, verse 41. 94 further verses were drawn in this session. This concludes today's interpretation at the altar of reception.